Sometimes life takes us down unexpected roads, roads filled with heartbreak, confusion, and tough choices. But these roads also offer us lessons, though sometimes they take years to understand. This is the story of a man, at 32, reflecting on his past and how his family's complex dynamics shaped who he is today. It all started when I was just a child, about 10 years old, when my parents, the people I thought would always be together, decided to divorce. It was a shock to me, to be honest. Divorce at that age, when you don't fully understand what love and relationships really mean, feels like the world is crumbling around you. As a young boy, I couldn't grasp the reasons why they no longer loved each other. But now, at 32, I realize that love isn't always meant to last forever. In those days, I acted out a lot. I couldn't make sense of my feelings, so I lashed out. My parents, trying their best, sent me to family counseling. My mom, she tried to understand me, to really hear me. But my dad, well, he had a different approach. Just accept life as it comes, he'd say. Maybe that's how he coped, but it didn't help me much. I grew closer to my mom than I ever was to my dad, especially after her sudden and tragic passing when I was 14. I was forced to move in with my father and his new fiancée, Beth, who had already been in their lives for a while. It felt like the hardest part of my life. My mom gone, my dad moving on, and me being thrust into a house that felt like nothing but strangers. Beth was much older than my dad, and she had a son from a previous marriage, Josh. Josh was around my age, but we didn't get along. To me, it felt like his mom, Beth, was trying to take over where my mother had left off. She was strict, overbearing, and very focused on making sure her son, Josh, always got the best opportunities, even if it meant pulling strings for him at school or in sports. It didn't sit well with me. But Josh? Well, he didn't seem to mind much. He would roll his eyes, but ultimately, he was benefiting from it. So my teenage years became a quiet battle, one I couldn't win. My dad, always avoiding confrontation, never spoke up about Beth's control. And Josh? Well, he was just a little lost too. I guess we were both just trying to find our place in that house, but it was hard when everything seemed out of sync. By the time I was in college, things hadn't gotten better. I attended university nearby and decided to live with my dad and Beth to save money. I wasn't freeloading. I helped out with rent and food, but things were tense. One of the main sources of tension was my relationship with Laura. Laura, she was kind, understanding, and gentle. She came into my life at the right time. But Josh developed a crush on Laura. And not just a passing crush. No, this was something deeper, something almost obsessive. It didn't take long for me to realize he was no longer just a little awkward around her. He was acting like a lovesick teenager, completely disregarding how uncomfortable Laura was. I tried to handle it maturely. I warned him privately, told him to back off. But he didn't listen. And neither did his mother. In fact, it wasn't long before Beth stepped in and decided that I needed to help the family by breaking up with Laura so Josh could be at peace. I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own father, my own family, expected me to give up someone I loved for a situation that wasn't even my fault. The conversation was unbearable, and it quickly escalated into an argument. The next day, I packed my bags. I moved out. I cut ties with my dad's side of the family and didn't speak to them for years after that. Fast forward 12 years. I'm married to Laura now. We have a beautiful home and are thinking about starting a family. Life has been good. The past, though, still lingers in the back of my mind. I've worked hard to move on, to find happiness outside of the family I once knew. But then, one day, the past came knocking. Josh, my stepbrother, found me. He showed up at my door unexpectedly, asking if he could talk. To be honest, I didn't know how to react. He looked different, more mature, but also deeply regretful. We sat down, and he started explaining himself. He told me that, over the years, he'd realized that his obsession with Laura was his own issue to deal with. He didn't want me to leave the house. Beth had made that decision, not him. After I left, things fell apart. He said it had all been too much for him, and without me there, the house felt cold and strange. Josh went on to explain how his life had spiraled after that. He dropped out of college, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and eventually ended up wandering from place to place, working odd jobs. His mother, Beth, never noticed. She was too consumed with her own world to see how her actions had affected him. Josh asked me if I could help him settle down in my town. He wanted a job, a fresh start. And while I didn't think I owed him anything, something in my heart softened. I didn't have to help him, but could I just turn my back completely on him? Laura and I discussed it. She didn't want to engage with my family again, but she also felt we should offer him a chance to get back on his feet. A few months passed, and Josh started doing better. He found work, got his life on track, and even started attending night classes. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that he had come to me expecting some kind of repayment, some kind of acknowledgement for the past, and that's where the difficulty lay. In the end, I realized that helping him was a choice, not an obligation. Sometimes family doesn't always have to come with an expectation. Sometimes the best thing you can do is offer a helping hand without expecting anything in return. And so, while I never truly felt like I owed Josh anything, I did what I could to help him build a better life. And that, I believe, is where we both learned the most. It's strange, how family can both hurt you and heal you, how decisions made in moments of anger or confusion can come back to either bind you together or tear you apart. But in the end, we all choose the path we walk, and sometimes that path leads us to a place where we can start fresh, even with those who once hurt us. As you drift to sleep tonight, I hope you remember that no matter where life takes you, it's always within your power to decide who you want to be. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with peace.